JJ Green joins us now live. He is the national security correspondent for WTOP Radio in Washington, D.C. He covers international intelligence, foreign policy, terrorism, and cybersecurity. JJ, as always, thanks for being with us on NewsNation.
Hello, Ruta Bay. How are you?
So you're hearing in your reporting that the average American is now a target of foreign governments. What does that mean, and what are they hoping to get out of the average American?
Well, the first thing to know is that 11 years ago, a DoD official, while testifying before Congress, told them that hackers led by China were stealing at that time the equivalent of multiple libraries of Congress worth of information. Essentially, the Library of Congress is the largest of its kind in the world. And what we understand is now, that was 2010, now they're able, through computing developments and technology, they essentially escalated that ability by orders of magnitude. So they're possibly able to steal that much data in a day. Now, what do they want to do with that? They want to know everything about us. They want to know our social security numbers. They want to know our eye colors. They want to know what video games we played when we were 10 years old. The objective, according to one international intelligence official, is to own the U.S. The other, according to a U.S. intelligence official, is essentially to replace us. So knowing every single thing about each and every one of us so they can build a profile is what's happening with these hacks.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on Thursday tweeted that the government is closely tracking vulnerabilities in Microsoft software and potential compromises of U.S. think tanks and defense industrial base entities. What can you tell us about that?
Well, this is an exploit called Hafnium, and this is the second major exploit this year that we know about. There was the earlier one called Solar Winds, launched by the Russians. But this one is launched by the Chinese, and the Chinese are believed to be what's known as essentially the varsity of hacking organizations when it comes to this. They have an entire military discipline that's dedicated to doing nothing but this. And as I mentioned a moment ago, their objective is to get every single stitch of information they can about the U.S., one, so that they can essentially know what it is that we want to do before we know it. Bottom line is, for instance, if we want to buy something, they want to know what we want to buy, what our habits are. They also want to know what our bank accounts say, what our credit looks like, you know, everything about us, so they can predict what we want to buy so they can sell it to us. The other part of this story, too, is that what they're trying to do is to collect enough information so that they can essentially provide these products to not just us, but the entire world. So this is a serious situation, according to the National Security Advisor and the community, that needs to be dealt with in a holistic way. And that means a team of national security professionals from across the government that has to deal with this situation.
And when you think about the scope of this, just as a nation, how dependent we are on the internet for communications, banking, shopping online, business, medical, government, education realms. And the NSA has said cyber attacks are the fastest growing threat to Americans. Will our government be able to keep up with this growing threat?
I spoke to an intelligence official a little bit earlier, actually several times during the course of the week, but also today too. That official says the U.S. has made some steps in the right direction, but the problem is the U.S. hasn't done enough. Over the last 5-10 years, China has been working at this night and day. The U.S. has been distracted. You know, there have been a couple of wars overseas. There's been the political situation here at home. There have been a lot of other things that have taken the attention of the nation's leaders away from this. Now, mind you, some very smart people have been warning about this for a long time, including a bipartisan group of people in Congress who've been saying we need to do something about this for a long time. So what the U.S. has done in the last couple of years has been a couple of executive orders that essentially have shut off the U.S.'s intellectual property from the Chinese, at least on the university level. So some of these people who come here posing as students and business people that go into university settings and learn all this information, actually what they are intelligence people who work for the Chinese intelligence. They take this stuff back. What the U.S. government has done is blocked these people from getting in. That's a step in the right direction. But the officials that I've spoken to say we need to do a whole lot more. We're not, the game isn't over, but it's a serious situation that we need to get a lot more serious about now.
It's such a dangerous and complicated issue, and it's one where we don't even know when we're being attacked a lot of the time. JJ Green, thank you so much for joining us tonight, as always.
Pleasure.